Okay.
You can't tell if there's any intelligence in this creature. So you set the box on the ground and back away from it?
So, refresh my memory. The thing is if I'm a planer, then I vanish and I'm never seen again.
The thing is, if you touch the thing inside the box and you're a planner, you vanish and are never seen again. But if you're a prime, you'll be perfectly safe.
I feel like you must be a planer because you were born on the plane of fire, right?
Do you share that information?
Yeah.
That seems like a bit of an extreme test.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ! What? You're the one person who's supposed to be doing good stuff! Liberation! And Mahogany goes over and picks up the box.
And the creature is now making a beeline for Mahogany, very lumberingly saying, "Hungry."
Yeah, come on, guys, we're going. We're not gonna send the friendly crocodile man to never be seen from again. And
I'm sorry, I didn't know what the box did.
Right, you're not to be blamed, but Liberation, you lost your box privileges.
What do you do with the box, Mahogany?
I put it in the solutions bag.
You put it in the solutions bag?
Yeah.
Liberation looks a little down, crestfallen, but says, "So how are we going to find out if I'm actually planar or not?"
Do you know which plane you might be from?
I don't know. Like I
said,
woke up and I was on
that
the plane of fire.
We travel to that plane, I banish
from the plane
you,
of fire.
and then we see if you come back.
Mahogany.
Yeah.
You put the thing in the solutions bag. How are you holding the solutions bag? How is
I'm
that
just kind of
secure?
holding it.
Like just in your hand, like at arm's length?
Yeah.
And the creature gets very close to you, and it just has these incredibly stupid eyes. Like it's just the dimmest possible creature. It has just enough spark of intelligence to be able to walk and move. And it starts moving towards the solutions bag, and it says, "Hungry."
Yeah, Mahogany walks 30 feet in the other direction. So this thing was moving 20 feet around?
Right gives it a good berry.
You create a good berry?
No,
I assume that I have one from
Okay.
From Mahogany.
And it shows no interest in the good berry whatsoever.
Yeah, I'll like wave it around and like kind of like make a motion like I'm gonna eat it, but like make it clear this is good to eat. Hey, want it? Hey.
And he is paying 0 attention to Riot and 100% attention to the solution bag. It might be important, Mahogany, in the very near future to know the entire contents of the solution bag. So just letting you know. So you can take a few minutes to get that information together if you need to.
No, I got it. I got it on my sheet.
So
There's a lot of garbage in there.
You're just playing keep away from this creature then, yes?
Yeah.
So the rest of you are watching Mahogany kind of moving in slow circles, and this creature is just mimicking his movements and trying to get as close to that bag as it can. It doesn't seem upset or angry or anything except hungry.
Just feed him the box.
But no, we can't do that. He'll
Why
disappear.
not?
He'll disappear. We've got to figure out some way of...
What do they eat?
Boxes, apparently.
Yeah.
Do you have your mansion today? Your
I got
ridiculous Riot's ridiculous ravel?
It's Riot's Righteous Crash Pad, and yes, I've got it.
If you open one of those up, we could throw it in and seal the doors and then leave it.
That's not... Okay.
Right.
I understand sometimes when you're too close to something, it's difficult to see what it is.
Yeah.
Throwing this creature into the mansion and then leaving it there forever is not a good idea.
No. We're gonna throw the box into the mansion and then seal the box away forever.
Well, no, it'll reappear after, what, 24 hours?
I don't think it will, because creatures reappear after 24 hours. The spell does not say what happens to items in it.
We could
the mansion's not.
The mansion.
The mansion's not a permanent fixture, though, right?
No, it's not. So presumably, items that are left within it when the 24 hours is up are gone.
Well, we could leave. We could lure the creature into it and then just close it.
I-
It'll have food, and then 24 hours later, it will leave.
That's actually true. Yeah.
Is that how it works?
Have the servants bring
Yeah. At the end of the
boxes with mysterious things.
at the end of 24 hours. Yeah,
Okay.
It's,
I mean, it'll be
right
fine
back
after
here.
24 hours.
It will.
It'll have boxes.
it will.
Are
'Cause
the
I've had-
doors large enough to let the thing through?
Believe me, I've passed out in that thing before, and I was fine when the spell ended.
Alright.
Okay, so yeah, it doesn't say specifically what happens to objects in the mansion. Anything like is a real object is inside
Yeah.
the mansion when the spell ends or is dispelled or whatever. I'm gonna say is just deposited outside the door. So nothing in there is
Okay.
gone forever if you forget it. But items that are created as part of the mansion, like silverware or chairs and shit, you can't take out. They disappear into
Yeah.
a puff of smoke.
It does say that much.
Yeah,
Yes. Okay.
So
Okay.
we just have to lure this thing around in a circle for, is it 1 minute or 10 minutes?
No, it's fine. You just create the door.
The door
I'll
takes a
walk
minute
in.
to
Yeah,
create.
it takes a while to cast.
Oh, yeah. Well, Mahogany will just do donuts, essentially.
Okay.
While Riot sings a song for 10 minutes.
And after the 10 minutes, Mahogany's like, "Can I have another 20 minutes? That was really fun." While that they're putting the mansion together, what are Liberation and Kelian doing as far as this whole situation?
Smoking.
Just smoking?
Yep.
Just
Makes
watching
time
this
pass.
nonsense. Just watching this nonsense, just completely confused.
If he disappears, it's its own fault.
Kelian's like, "Dude, listen to this shit my ex-girlfriend pulled on me."
That's pretty bad. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
And
Sorry
after
about that, by the way.
the requisite time, the door to Riot's righteous crash pad appears.
Mahogany walks in the door.
Open the door up, and inside is the crash pad. And the creature is following you to the door.
Yeah, and Mahogany walks in it.
Now you're inside the crash pad,
And he goes and gets some muffins.
and there's lots of muffins.
Yeah.
I mean, I
And he's
assume.
waiting-
Factual Hashgar is serving them to you in a maid outfit.
So is the goal for the creature to go into the mansion as well, or are you closing him out?
Yeah, that's the goal. And then I'm going to leave, and we're going to just leave him in there.
Here's what happens, and Riot, you are flabbergasted. Where is this door? I mean, did you put it in the
I
side
can
of a
just set
tree
it
or a
into-
rock?
I can just set it into pretty much anything, I think.
Or do you just want it like sitting out in the open, like just a naked door, not attached to anything?
Let me see if I can do that. Because if I can do that, I'm not.
I
think you can.
think you can do
I read in the
both.
spells that you could, but
Yeah, it just says you conjure an extra dimension dwelling in range. I'll ask for the room.
But the answer is going to be meaningful.
Yeah. I would set it into something because Riot feels weird about doors in the middle of nowhere.
Into what? I mean, you've got trees, you've got some rocks, you've got like hillsides you could use, like make a hobbit hole kind of thing.
The hillside. It would be that.
Okay. Here's what happens. You can see into the door, and Mahogany's in there juggling muffins. The creature is lumbering towards the door. And I mean, you have to enlarge the door so the creature can fit through it.
It's 10 feet. Yeah, it's 10 feet tall is the door.
So the creature muscles its way into the door. Mahogany, you do not see it enter the mansion. The rest of you just see the creature vanish. You're looking into the mansion, and you don't see it in the room with Mahogany or the muffins. Instead, you start hearing this very muffled just cries of something, and it's coming from what should be inside the mansion.
I'll go in. I'll go into the mansion.
I'll follow.
What kind of muffins do you have, Mahogany?
Blueberry, raspberry, boysenberry.
There you go.
Jamberry.
And yeah, you're standing in the foyer of Riot's crash pad, and there's no large crocodile man in here. And
Where
you
did
can
it go?
you can still hear the sounds, but now it sounds like it's coming from outside of the door behind you.
Did you lose the crocodile?
It
I
was
thought it was in here
following
with you.
Oh my god.
Should have just fed him the box.
All right, let's flip and find it.
Yeah, and I just start searching through the crash pad.
And
I
you
need
guys
to get out of the way.
Let me get you that floor plan again.
See, I made one too. I made one last week, but
Yeah.
do you guys have links to these floor plans? I'll put them on the
I
tablet.
put it in the Twitch and the.
Oh yeah. Let me aim you the floor plan.
In-
Well,
the,
post it in
party
the
chat.
in the party chat so I can cut paste it.
Okay.
Because both of these
Twitch.
both of these people drew up floor plans. Oh, I actually have Nick's here. Drew up floor plans for their magnificent mansions. So, I'll tell you what. I will save the links, and then while I'm tallying up experience, I'll let you guys give your tours of your various mansions.
Okay.
In a little bit.
But we don't find the creature anywhere in here?
No, you search through the mansion, and no matter where you go, you can hear its cries, but it's coming from the other side of the door, out in the plane of Elysium. Did anybody not go in the mansion?
Liberation's still standing outside.
Because there's no smoking in the mansion, right?
Oh, there's lots of things happening in the mansion.
You guys sitting out there smoking, roll... I want each of you to roll a perception check. DC is going to be kind of high, but...
8.
8?
23.
23. Kelian. You're focusing on the sounds of this creature. This... She put this door in the side of this hill. It sounds like it's buried.
In the hill.
Okay, let's see here. Do I have anything that could maybe help? I don't have anything that could really help.
Guys, I think it's in the hill.
I think it's gone through the hill. Yeah.
Take a deep breath and dip my head into the diving pool.
Into the diving pool?
Yeah, take a look around, see what's under there.
No, it's not underwater.
Shout through the door into the mansion. I think it walked through the hill, through the door into the hill.
That's stupid. That's not how this
That
spell
doesn't
works.
seem to.
Well,
That
it
doesn't
clearly
seem
it's working.
dimensionally possible.
Nath,
It's working
back me
now.
up here, Nath.
No, that's not.
No, I'm with you, Liberation. Magic's horseshit.
It is.
Wait.
And you're
then
having to
Nath
shout this
sort of-
conversation over the
And it
sounds.
just sort of snaps in Nath's mind what they told him about good-based magic users. Oh wait,
Well,
yeah, the plane might not exactly appreciate Riot reshaping it to her will.
Why wouldn't it?
Riot's good, I know. But she is.
You need to get this thing out of there now, then.
All right, well let's leave the
All right.
mansion and we'll.
All right, everybody out.
Yep.
I can't actually dismiss the mansion. I have to dispel it.
You can automatically dispel anything you cast, though.
It's not a
You have to
concentration.
make a check.
No,
It doesn't matter. Unless the spell specifically says you can't dismiss it, you can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I'll dismiss the mansion.
Okay. I mean, the door just vanishes, and you still hear the sound of it, and now that the door is not in the way, you see the back of this thing's tail, the last 2 or 3 inches of it, poking out of this hillside. And the muffled
Mahogany.
sound still coming from underneath the dirt somewhere.
Yeah,
Can
I
you
got it.
You said
Stone
dirt or
shit?
stone?
It's dirt. It's a hill. It's soil, but covered in grass.
Mahogany shapeshifts into an earth elemental.
Okay.
And then I
Oh, that's
basically...
good. Wait. Sorry. Sorry to interrupt you. Do you have the box?
Yes, no, yes, that is part of this plan, yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shapeshifts into an earth elemental, and then just kind of pushes the dirt and stone back from the creature to give it some more space.
And there's no stone. It's all just kind of densely packed soil. And you dig around, and after a few moments, you manage to move enough of it around that this creature's head is revealed, and he's just stuck inside the hillside. And as soon as its head is free, it just says, "Hungry."
Mahogany holds up his hands. He doesn't have a box.
Riot holds up the good bear again. Food?
It doesn't look
Here,
interested
let-
in the goodberry, but now that its head is free, it no longer seems particularly distressed that he's partially encased by hill.
And Mahogany just keeps digging him out.
Okay, and it takes... I mean, your earth elemental wouldn't take that long.
Yeah.
You're just moving
I
soil.
can mostly just melt into the soil and then push it out.
And as soon as you get him free, he comes back out on his feet and kind of clambers around. He looks more confused as usual. like a dog having sniffed something, but now he can't smell it anymore. Just looking around a lot.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, man.
Mahogany looks at the others and just starts walking away.
And Nath will nod and follow him.
Hey, Liberation, tell him we're sorry.
Tell him that I'm sorry and pat him on the arm and then head on.
And he says, hungry.
Just feed him the box.
Do you make any effort to outpace this thing?
I think that you would have to make effort. Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't really have to make an effort to outpace him.
We'd have to make an effort
make
not to,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So over the course of the next hour or so, as you're moving on down the side of the river, I mean, he follows you the entire time until eventually his form disappears behind the horizon behind you. But you're certain that when you break for the night and set up camp, he's going to show up.
I want to know what's in his backpack.
He doesn't actually have a backpack. That's just creative license
Oh.
taken with this one picture. Like, I don't think this creature's smart enough to have possessions. The way
Now
it's
I'm
described.
way less interested in it.
Or how do you know it's a
Yeah,
backpack? It might just be part of the creature.
You led me to believe it'd be cool, Rickard. How could
Mahogany
it be cool
cat.
if it doesn't have a backpack?
Mahogany casts Long Strider on everyone. So that we can just easily, like, super outpace this guy.
Okay. What is the plan for camping tonight? When you break for
Well,
the
we
day?
don't have a mansion.
Well, I needed to use my mansion to plane shift, so I don't have one either. That's why I asked you to do it.
I do still have the hut.
That's fine.
I like huts.
So who took the solutions bag after Riot
Mahogany
dismissed
has
it?
it.
So you've got it still. Okay.
And I'll go ahead and do a private sanctum inside the hut at the same time. Even though it probably won't work.
And it absolutely does not.
But I have
actually-
removed the ring of mind shielding, so maybe if Genasi wants to talk to me, it'll happen. Because it's not going to do me any good here.
I think
Like
some aspects of the private sanctum will probably work fine.
Yeah, like the visibility, the teleportation, maybe. Who knows? Planar egress. Well, if you want, Riot, tomorrow, assuming we have to keep going on this direction, I can provide the mansion.
Well,
Sounds like
I
a
think-
good
Okay.
idea.
I think
People
your mansion
inside
sucks.
of the private sanctum on this plane, you can't be targeted by divination spells.
Mhm.
You can't teleport in or out. And planar travel is blocked. But you don't get the sound or foggy barrier aspects of
Okay.
of the spell.
Yeah.
You
Riot
guys
says, how about... Okay, go ahead.
putting up regular watches.
I have a question. Is the hut see-through?
On our side, it's
Oh.
opaque on the outside.
On
Only
both
from the
sides.
No, you can...
Because we're
you
on
can-
Elysium.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, actually it is. Good call.
So it's just a dumb plastic bubble.
What was Riot's question?
Oh, Riot was just going to say to Nath, how about tomorrow when you get your hut back, we put yours up and everyone's seen mine, and then after that, everyone gets to vote about who they want to sleep in.
And sure enough, over the course of the night, almost at the break of dawn, the creature shows up at your tiny hut, looking inside expectantly. And Mahogany, you don't feel anything. The thing's inside the solutions bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can see us
Mahogany
all.
has a very restful night.
So everybody go take the benefits of the long rest. Kelian, you can go ahead and get back half your hit dice and then spend all of them, I imagine. Maybe.
That was an interesting noise.
Nath. Aunt Nancy does contact you that night.
Wow. Okay.
You wake up, obviously in some kind of dream state. You don't see any of your companions or the hut. But looking around at your surroundings, it is the middle of the night, and it is the place on Elysium that you chose to take your camp. Do you guys build a fire when you break for camp?
I think the hut's already warm, right?
I think so.
We're nothing if not utilitarian.
Instead of the hut, the place you wake up, there's the corpse of this large creature that you met the day before. That is in the middle of the night, lumbering towards you the whole time. It looks emaciated. Its skin is very saggy. A lot of the crystal spines that are covering its form are gone, leaving just large, pockmarks across its hide. And you see Aunt Nancy standing over the thing, looking very concerned. And he turns toward you. And he says, "At last we meet, the mysterious hardhead."
I'll nod and I'll point to the corpse. What happened here?
He said, "It's the damnedest thing. The poor thing starved to death."
What do they eat?
And he says that that's a very interesting tale. The story of these creatures.
Well, I believe we have time. Looks like this is a dream, so sit down, offer him water from my pack if he wants any.
He declines the water, but he says he will require payment for the story. That usually it's in his nature to tell stories for free, but it looks like you've come along to interrupt a little game that he's playing.
What sort of payment?
He asks for something personal. A trinket, trivial item. Something that means something to you, but would be valueless to anyone else.
Rifle through my bag for a little bit. Pull out my spell focus. I mean, it's not entirely valueless. I'm sure most casters would be able to use it, but for me it holds a personal value.
So what is your focus?
It's a piece of crystal with bits of elemental fire, earth, water, and air from Limbo embedded in it.
Did Nodal make this focus for you?
No, I made it.
He looks at it. He says, "This will do nicely." Now, he accepts the item, and it disappears into his coat. And he says, "Now I will tell you this story of this creature and how it came to die. But one part of this story will be untrue, and your test will be to determine which part." He tells you the creature is, long, long ago, used to be some sort of celestial, some manner of low-level angel. And angels have a big problem all across the upper planes, that the people on the prime material, these selfish wizards who consider themselves masters of their universe, commonly seek angels' power, and they do this by summoning them to the prime and binding them into service. So the angels had to develop a defense against this. And one of these low-level groups of angels very selflessly took it upon themselves to devote their lives to learning the nature of summoning crystals. It says, you see, when a wizard casts a summoning spell on the prime material, he creates a small piece of rock that flies across the astral plane out to any target destination, and it finds the creature it's looking to summon, and it touches them, and blink, they disappear back to the prime.
Is this consistent with my view on how summoning works?
That's going to depend on where Nath received the bulk of his training. We know he's from Limbo originally, but we also know that he's done most of his service on the prime.
Yeah,
So-
but the basics of magic are from Githzerai wizards, so.
Okay. This is a point of some contention. Summoning magic on the prime material is very mysterious. You cast the spell, the thing you want poofs into existence. But yes, out on the plains, these summoning crystals are known to be a danger, and it is thought they are linked to summoning spells cast on the prime material.
Okay.
And he says that over the eons, these creatures developed a resistance to summoning crystals. And then they became a source of sustenance for it. That they would scour the upper planes from Mount Celestia all the way around to Easgard. And when these crystals were found, instead of touching their targets, they would zip towards the nearest creature instead, and it would gobble it up and swallow it. And it would become a part of it, and the magic energy of the crystal would sustain it. Obviously, the creatures are no longer angels. Now they're dumb, lumbering beasts. But if one starves, if one goes too long without devouring one of these crystals, they become very violent and very deadly. And it becomes the sad task of some noble group of adventurers to put it out of its misery. And it looks to be what's happened here tonight. If only it had had something to eat.
How often do they need to eat?
And Aunt Nancy stands up, brushes off his coat, and he asks, "How often do you?"
I prefer to eat about twice a day.
He says he'll be keeping a very close eye on you. He hasn't yet decided whether you're good for this game or not. It will depend on what you do with his story. And that's it. That's all you get that night.
Okay.
You wake up the next day, having had your bewildering dream, and you see the great lumbering beast kind of with its face squeezed up against the sides of the tiny hut, looking into it dumbly.
I'll share that with the group.
Is that what that thing is in there? A summoning crystal?
And very notably, your spell focus is no longer on your sheet. That is gone.
Okay.
Well, I mean, that makes sense, right?
Maybe.
Because if he was a planer, then he would get summoned.
I don't know how any of that works. I mean, you're the one saying it makes sense. It makes me feel like it probably doesn't make any sense.
I don't have any summoning spells, but perhaps Mahogany could try summoning something, and it could consume the crystal instead.
Or we can just give it this thing.
Oh,
And then-
also, we should point out that one point of that story is supposedly a lie.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to go down and enumerate what I consider to be the points of the story, and then we can decide what the lie is.
All right.
So, they used to be Celestials. Angels have issues with primes often summoning them. Summoning crystals travel across the astral to summon creatures. This creature would sustain itself on eating summoned crystals intended for other creatures. They're no longer angels, and if it starves, it becomes violent and deadly.
Riot doesn't believe that they used to be Celestials. That part of it makes no sense to her.
What does everybody else think?
oh, let's just give it the box.
Yeah, I think we should.
Should give him the box, and that it used to be Celestials is also bogus. So it agrees with Riot.
So you
I
think the
think
box
let's-
is just like a crystal, a summoning crystal?
Sure, why not? That makes
I mean,
sense.
Well, the thing
What we
inside
can
the...
do is we can open it up and see, right?
Well, I'm from Limbo, so I'm not about to.
Well, I don't mean see as in like touch the crystal, but we can look up and see what is in this box.
We can just open the box and not touch the crystal.
Exactly. If it's a crystal, then I don't see any problem with feeding it to the creature.
Sure. And I'll reach into the bag and I'll try to call forth the box.
Well, let's see if you get a summoning crystal box or if you get a Mephit named summoning crystal box. And you pull the box out, and two things happen immediately. The first thing is that the box is rattling violently in your hand when you pull it out. The second thing is that the creature immediately snaps onto the box and begins saying, "Hungry."
think
You know
that-
what? If this creature wants to eat this box so bad, that's its choice.
It's trying to reach in, but it can't through the hut.
Well,
So-
if you are,
I'm gonna put this box down on the ground, and then we can
Yeah.
just back up.
and when we're at the edge of if we're all clustered at the edge of the dome, I'll go ahead and mage hand the box open.
I don't
Okay.
think we're even going to need to do that. I think it's probably just going to pick the box up and eat it full.
So you're gonna set the box outside of the hut and then mage
wait.
hand it open?
Do we know there's a crystal in there yet?
Nobody
That's
knows.
why I
Nobody's
don't-
opened it.
The
Yeah, we
thing's
should put it-
shuddering and freaking out. I'm not opening it up because I think the criminal's
Liberation.
gonna fly out of there, hit me in the face, and then I'm gonna be on some stupid crime.
Liberation cracks open the box.
And you open it up,
Yeah.
and there is a small crystal in there. Not very big, maybe just a couple ounces. And as soon as the box is open, it flies up and zips to the edge of the tiny hut. It can't get through the plane of it. And the creature is standing there with his mouth agape, attempting to... And it can't. There's a solid piece of Leomit's tiny hut in between the two.
All right, put it back in the box. Just like kind of snap the box over it.
Yeah, kind of scoop the.
Who's
Right.
who's
Back
doing
up.
this?
I'll
I'm
do it.
Mahogany, I'll tell you that.
Why?
I think we should just.
dismiss the
I think
hut.
we should just dismiss the hut and call it a
Oh.
day.
Yeah, you want to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can dismiss the hut.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me get to the other side of it first, but
No, just do it now.
So, dismiss the hut?
Yeah.
And as soon as it's gone, the crystal flies into this thing's mouth, and it snaps shut around it. And it has this very contented look on its body, and it's making crunching noises. And it takes a full minute or so as he's devouring this crystal. And then you see, on his wide belly, part of the hide split open, and a piece of crystal juts out of it. And he holds his hands to his belly very contentedly, and he says,
Aww.
"Satisfied."
Aww.
And then he begins lumbering away from you.
Liberation sneaks in a hug before he lumbers away. That was fun.
I guess that's our good deed for the day, huh?
And then very suddenly, looking out in the far, far distance, you see the terrain become much rockier and harsher off in the distance. Instead of these rolling meadows with occasional crossings of the river Oceanus, it becomes like mountains and rocky gorges. Kind of like if that plane you were on in the Abyss wasn't bullshit, if it was actually a pleasant place to be. And if you're good aligned, so everybody except for Mahogany and Kelian, you have just this innate understanding that feeding this creature, the plane has allowed you to glimpse the second layer of the plane.
Nice.
And that's what we will call it for today. So, I do want to share this creature with you because he's excellent. This is one of those creatures, and the Succubus also falls into this category of creatures that Planescape used a lot of, that you're not supposed to use them in combat. That's not the point of the creature. Like, you could never put a Succubus just in battle and she attacks you. That's not her purpose. Like, she has her charm effect, and then she has her, like, draining attack, but she can only use it on somebody who's either charmed or willing. So you have to use some...
really willing.
Really?
Kelian willing? Yeah, he was.
He was. But, you know what I mean? It's not just a creature that you're supposed to go in, hack and slash.
Yeah.
And this creature is
Yeah,
much
yeah.
the same. This thing is called a Demarax. And it eats spell crystals, basically. It has this weird ability that any spell crystal in the vicinity, whatever it's supposed to be targeting, the spell crystal gets confused and will target the Demarax instead. And then he'll eat it and be full. So they're basically impossible to kill. One of the things they can do if their life is threatened is they can eject all the crystals from their body into this like spinning whirlwind, which is just horrible for anybody standing there. Like
That
you might
sounds
get
amazing.
you might get blind, you might get confused, you might blink away to the prime material forever. Other than that, all it can do, I mean, it can hit you with its tail, or it can shoot magic missiles out of its eyes. So, as a fight, it's not that interesting a creature, and it's really hard to damage it, and it's got a crap load of hit points. But, like, as just an encounter, I really love this thing.
It's adorable.
It's
I
pretty.
wish it had a backpack though.
Yeah, that's what it really needs.
Like if it just had a backpack.
0 out of
even-
10 needs.
Or like a fanny pack would be good too.
Oh,
Yeah.
a fanny pack would be great. Yeah.
Oh,
It's Craig's little brother on his first day of school.
Yeah.
Aw, it's adorable.
But it says one of the differences between 2nd and 5th edition is the way magic resistance works. I'm sure Destil remembers this, but creatures had a magic resistance stat in the older editions where it was a percentage-based thing, and that was the percentage chance of spells just not working on it ever. And the Demarax has a magic resistance of 90%. So, in 5th edition, they usually phrase that as they get advantage on saving throws against magic stuff. But the Demarax, if it eats a spell crystal and fails that magic resistance roll, it just gets summoned to the prime material, whatever wizard wanted. And then it's so dumb it just starves to death there because there are no magic crystals on the prime team.
Aww.
But the governors theorize that they were created by powers of law to reduce the chaos caused by the uncontrollable appearance of spell crystals. By devouring all the crystals they come across, the Demarax prevents a lot of chaotic things from happening.
Yeah, I'll buy that they were created by the powers of law. I don't buy that they used to be them.
So, what did everybody think the lie was in the story?
That they used to be Celestials.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought the lie was that they become violent when they're.
Yeah, I agree.
Mahogany thought it was pointless trying to figure
Seemed like
out.
it was
so
just-
he didn't bother.
just follow you until passed out. There didn't seem to have any bit of violence in it.
Yeah, that was the lie. There's the creature only becomes violent if its life is threatened, and its only real defense is to create that like spell whirlwind. And after it does that, it becomes like emaciated and probably dies anyway. When I gave this thing a stat block, because I knew there was a small chance you guys would try to kill it. If in the 2nd edition rules, they can only use that whirlwind once, and that was it. In this version, I made it more powerful, but whenever he uses it, he gains a level of exhaustion.
No,
You die at 6 levels, right?
Yes.
yeah, I think it's 5 actually.
No, at 5, you... Like, your
Oh, you
hit
can't
point total is
pass out.
half, and you have no
Okay.
speed.
Okay.
Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put our straw poll up. I'm going to... Oh, you know what? I'll do it this way. Can I load in 2 tablets, or is this going to crash everything? So,
Please don't make the mistake of trying to load a million like you do with the tokens.
Yeah.
oh no, that would be terrible. I'm going to go ahead and load Riot's Magnificent Mansion onto this first tablet. I'm going to try to get them both in frame here so you guys can give the viewers a tour of the place.
Okay.
And then I'll put Nath's on the other.
What are you doing? Okay.
So that's Riot's. Let me go get Nath's.
I think his is a Google Doc.
Yeah.
Will
Which,
Google Doc
who
work on
knows
this?
how well this tablet will handle that.
Yep. Well, I guess we'll find out.
I mean, if it's just Chrome,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it ought to work. Yeah.
I'm gonna water it down.
Hey,
Pretty
there
good.
it is.
There you go. All right, so I'm going to go silent, so you guys go ahead and give your tours. Be thinking about
Okay.
your blip expenditures and things, and I'll be back in just a couple minutes.
All right, go ahead, Nath.
All right. So when you first enter, come in through the entrance. We have a large dining area. It has a galley to the side, and then did I write any other notes about this one? And then this red line here is a pair of sliding doors. They'll slide north and south, so these two areas can be joined if you need something really large. We have a lounge, which is filled with comfortable recliners, chairs, a bunch of bookshelves, and a tapestry of Githzerai Monastery along the western wall. We have Nath's study, which is dark, has no bed, just a meditation mat. We have Mahogany's Grove, which uses illusion magic to make it look like an overgrown grove with a pool in the center of it. It's very humid and has blue sunlight or black with starlight, depending on the lighting level. Liberation's Quarters, which he doesn't know Liberation personally well enough. He just has them currently being Spartan, and he has a banner of the Godsman in it. We have an altar of Osprey for Riot, which has a font and the holy symbol of Osprey engraved in it, plus it's styled in the way that Riot's room is back in Sigil, and Kelian's quarters, which are super opulent, which includes gold varnish on everything. There's a small cat tree and a cat bed for Mrs. Fluffy Bottom. The guest quarters, which are basically just pretty much very plain, and he forms this into whatever he needs. And then, of course, there's a holding cell for criminals with 4 chairs bolted to the floor and restraints on the walls.
Nice. Does he expect to like take criminals into his mansion at any point?
I mean, he was. That's just the default layout. Like, you could do something else, but seems reasonable.
Huh? All right. All right.
Would you rather have a criminal and not have a place to put them?
I think the place to put them would be outside of my mansion. So this E here is the entrance to Riot's Righteous Crash Pad, which is what she calls her version of the spell. It's basically one long hallway with a bunch of rooms leading off it. Over here is Riot's chambers, where she's got her wardrobe, her like opulent canopy bed, and a kind of like a makeup area slash dressing room sort of deal over here with chair. It's kind of like a backstage area, basically. Over here is the dining area, which is just a couple of bars with bar stools, where servants will just walk up and take your orders. And back here is a band shell, where Riot and whoever else feels like playing with her can give concerts. Over here is the diving pool, which has a big symbol of Osprey in the concrete, and then probably 10, 15 feet of water down there. You can't make it very deep because one of the limitations is the magnificent mansion. But it's there, wanted to have a water area. And then a bunch of basically like nice looking but pretty plain guest rooms for whoever follows her in, whether that's the party or just friends or whoever.
Okay. Rad.
I did everybody a favor and did not put Kraid Friend on the Strupple.
That's good.
Pokedude wants to know what was up with that kid who just did Mahogany shop.
That was just going to be a guy handing out flyers for...
Oh, okay.
Now, would you like to explain why?
Yeah, that was my banana. I wanted to have Lois Vesterhoff representing the merchants of the bazaar in a class action suit against the hardheads.
Now,
So that's why when Nath went to the courts, it was packed with in-depths who were given the stink eye.
It's pretty amazing. I love it.
all right. All right, let's give out some experience here. So,
Blips.
blips are 1250 now because somebody reached 14, didn't they?
Yep.
Okay, so blips are 1250 now, which is the highest they've ever been.
And they're only going to get higher.
We give 1 blip for creativity. Who had the most creative solution to a problem this week?
I thought the idea, even though it didn't work, of putting the lizard Kraid Friend into the mansion was good. I don't remember whose it was anymore.
I think I came up with that, but then I'm like, oh, I don't have mansion because I plane shifted today.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give it to Destil.
Yeah, I'll give it to now.
Okay. We give 1 for the assist. Who furthered the party's goals the most?
I'm going to give this to not anybody but Kelian.
Yeah. So really, did Kelian shoot anyone in the foot as much as he shot Kelian?
Well, a bunch of us all had to like drop what we were doing and go find him.
I think Liberation actually honestly deserves this one because he was kind of keeping the party on task.
Yeah, that's fair.
Liberation.
That's Succubus bit.
It's party nanny. Liberation.
Good job, Liberation.
Just disintegrated her. Walked back to the room.
Is there any way a Succubus survives more than one round of combat at all with these players in this campaign from now
Probably
on?
not.
Who gets the badass blip this week?
That I think Kelian can be in contention for.
Kelian, I think, yeah, because
Yeah.
despite being in such a compromising position, he was still that smug, sarcastic bastard he always is.
I'm just gonna say after losing the 13 hit points for the kiss, no, I want to go the whole way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, I'm down with that too.
We give one blip for
Sometimes the badass award can just be subtitled the stupid award.
as long as it's sufficiently entertaining, stupid.
Yeah.
Which is indecipherable from badass. We give a blip for the intangibles.
I've got one written down for this. It says Nodal. I think he's charmed. You know it.
I can agree.
I've had a lot of discussions about like mind controlling spells and stuff over the years with people, and I'm sure I've had them all with you on Talking Time and whatnot in the past, but there's always some contention about how much control players should have when they're under the effects of a spell like that. Because me and my group, we just roll with it. If we're under... I have a legendary story about a vampire game where a guy came in and dominated me and my friend, and we spent the entire session trying to kill everybody else. But I always love when people do that. They just roll with it. Whatever. Oh, I have to act a certain way? No problem. I'll just act that way. So I always appreciate that.
I think that's a good way to handle it. It's like, you give a general instruction to the player, and then like if they start deviating a little too much, you slide away from it. I remember back when we were fighting Baba Yaga, and Khalil got charmed, and so I was like, okay, she wants me to start killing these guys. I know that Zook is invisible and right behind me, but I can still sword him, except not really because I can't hit him. And so I wasn't acting against her wishes. It's just I was going about them in a very terrible way.
Yeah, and because my feeling on those kind of spells is if I'm with a group of players who won't do that, who won't just kind of roll with it and incorporate it into the game, they're not really worth using. Like their value at the table is very minimal, because then I've got to say, okay, you don't get your character for the next however long it is. I have to play him as an NPC, and that's never fun for anybody.
Right.
And the Succubus charm is a particularly potent version of charm. Nothing can dispel it. The only way he gets another save is if she gives him a suicidal command. And then if he fails that second save, he has to follow it.
Although it's worth noting, I think the Succubus charm is not the same thing as like Dominate.
No, it's not. It's still a charm, right?
It's a charm effect, yes. It does count as a charm. But it says that he has to do whatever she says, and she can issue telepathic commands as well. And the way it's supposed to be used is she hits somebody with that charm, and then goes in and uses that life-draining kiss until they're on the brink of death, and then sells them to whoever. So a very potent monster, but not one you just throw in to fight. So, all right, we'll go to do our belief rundown here. I actually don't have my belief page open right now. I forgot to open it earlier today.
I like that the idea as written is you get the charm and then you get the draining kiss, and then because that harms you, then you have another chance to make the charm save. But
No.
Kelian wasn't ever charmed; he just did it anyway.
You don't get another. You don't get that. No, damage does not trigger the save. The only thing that triggers the save is if she gives him a suicidal command.
It says if the target suffers any harm or receives a suicidal command, or maybe using second editions like.
No, because I had the 5th edition one open here. But yeah, it was a moot point for Kelian either way, because he wasn't charmed.
He just fucking did it.
And he said he'd do it again. So, the big difference between 2nd edition is in 2nd edition, a Succubus was a Tanari. They were a chaotic fiend. They're like the Tanari version of the Erinyes. But in 5th edition, they're neither. They're a neutral fiend, so they get used by both sides. And I'm not sure how I wanted to rule on that, so I left it kind of vague. Oh, you know what? At the top of my little note scratch page here, I have a section about Nick's banana. Lois Vesterhoff representing the merchants of the bazaar.
I wonder how she
really
feels about that.
She's very not happy.
If she's not complaining, she's not happy. All right. Do we have any triple no's on the belief rundown this week?
I don't think so.
I'll be honest. I actually half expected Kelian to willingly fail the charm save. Let's just roll with it. Let's go all in.
Well, my thinking was is if he willingly went along with the charm save, then she wouldn't have slept with him. And I wanted
That's not
that
what
to be
Kelian wanted.
no. Or worse, he wouldn't remember.
Okay. So who wants to go first as far as beliefs?
I'll do it.
Who?
Make Riot.
What is Riot's belief?
Those with power who use it only in service of themselves must have that power stripped from them.
And did she live that belief this week?
If you go by the adage that money is power, Riot stripped a guy of a lot of his money this week.
Does she feel bad at all for what happened to that guy?
Not really.
No,
I mean, he was a slaver. Now he is a slave to somebody else. That's kind of poetic justice to Riot.
Okay. Did Riot learn anything new about her beliefs?
I was gonna say yes, but now I can't remember why.
Okay.
I remember like thinking at some point in the session, oh, this actually reflects on Riot's belief, but now I don't remember what that was.
And are her beliefs changing at all?
No.
Who wants to go next?
Kelian.
Kelian. What's Kelian's belief?
It's up to me to be ruthless to others when my associates cannot.
And did he live that belief this week?
I think he did.
Okay, how so?
When Lygress was looking at him to be like, what should I do with her? Kelian was just like, yeah, no, you kill her. She did this to me. You kill her. That's fine with me.
Okay. Learn anything new about Kelian's beliefs?
No.
And are they changing?
No.
And who's next?
I'll go.
What's Liberation's belief?
Chains of oppression prevent the oppressed from reaching their potential, and care must be taken to have a plan for freeing them.
And did he live that belief this week?
Okay, everybody was very contentious about letting this thing run free, but Liberation sticks by that decision because it was up to her to take this chance and maybe make something of herself, better herself, and she didn't. And what was her reward in the end? She got chopped in half.
Would you say you took care in freeing someone from oppression?
So
Not especially.
here's my question for Liberation. Because it's been pointed out to him repeatedly by other characters in-game that there are creatures of just pure evil. Which, in a cosmic sense, kind of means, like, she doesn't have the ability to do anything good. She doesn't have the ability, as Liberation puts it, to make something of herself. That's their view on these fiends. If they weren't evil, they wouldn't be a fiend. But that's clearly not how Liberation sees it. Does he see redeeming qualities even in the most evil of creatures?
He sees that anything can be redeemed. That's the way he sees it.
And did Liberation learn anything about his beliefs?
No.
So you're going to free the next Succubus too. Got it.
Yep.
And are they changing?
Exactly. No, they're not changing.
Okay.
I remembered what I was going to say about what I learned.
What'd you learn?
At one point, Liberation says, hey, instead of going on this heist, why don't you come with me to the Plane of Fire and we'll free some slaves at Locksmith Row.
Mm-hmm.
And Riot turned him down. And I was thinking about, like, I have the power, and I'm not using it in service of them. Like, is that against my beliefs? And I had to think, well, no, because my belief isn't that you have to only use power selflessly. It's that whoever does nothing with it but enrich themselves needs to be taken down a bit.
So, in Riot's point of view, it's not important that she didn't go and rescue those slaves in the Plane of Fire. What's important was she used her time and energy towards some other endeavor, which she thought was good.
Yeah.
Okay. And who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
What is Nath's belief?
Those who seek protection should be delivered to proper authority, free from any form of harm means harming the authority.
And did he live that belief this week?
Not quite, because there's not really a lot you can do to hand over a succubus.
So from Nath's point of view, like, who would that authority even be?
Right.
Just
Like, I mean,
disintegration, that's
the
it?
best he could do after she was freed, like, if we had had, a chance to get into it and she hadn't just been killed, he was going to tell Mahogany to go buy a fort for the Abyss, and it's just going to be, okay, we trick her to leave the plane, and I plane shift to the Abyss, and we're done with it. And her overlords among the fiends can track her down for whatever. That's as close as you're going to get with a creature like this.
Okay. Did Nath learn anything new about his beliefs?
Yeah. He learned that Sigil is just as bad as he ever thought, hearing about all of these slaver people who apparently made contracts to get slaves not having been prosecuted.
Yeah, no, Sigil is definitely a shithole.
I have a question. How does Nath view the party's actions? Because we were absolutely acting outside the law.
Oh no, he's apt. I guess I should have mentioned that. Yeah, he's sort of in the less. If it had been anyone other than a slaver who hadn't been prosecuted, he wouldn't have even been able to justify to himself working with you guys at this point.
Oh no, I don't mean today. I mean when we went out and killed those slavers.
When did you kill which slavers?
Way back in you were there. Like Destil. When we took out those slavers like previously.
I've actually got a change in my beliefs that will address that.
Okay,
great.
How did the beliefs change?
I also added those who do harm or break the law and cannot be peacefully retained must be stopped as carefully as possible.
Must be stopped as carefully as possible. What is Nath's general outlook on not necessarily the Mercy Killers as they act today in Sigil, but just their general philosophy about how evildoers must be brought to justice, how that's like the most noble endeavor there is?
He agrees with that pretty much completely.
Okay.
But the judgment of who is evil and the processes through which that's done. Like, one of the reasons I wanted to learn more about the laws is, in his opinion, the raid on the bazaar was wrong, because even if, by the law, the bazaar is owned, various places are owned by individuals, de facto it's owned by the Indepts, and he thinks that effectively going to war with another faction over territory, you might be able to, wriggle the law into supporting that, but it is not serving the greater good.
And you might have learned something about the law, if not for Nick's banana. All right. What's Mahogany's belief?
Learn nothing.
Learn nothing?
No, that's the party's belief.
Yeah.
Sorry. There's a perfect state. Everything has a perfect state of being, and everything tries to influence the things around them.
Did he live that belief this week?
It didn't really come up that much.
What is... might have asked this before, but I think it's a very interesting topic. Like, what is Mahogany's take on a perfect state of being of a creature who's being charmed or mind-controlled or something?
He tends to do his best to break things like that, charm, mind control, etc.
Yeah.
Like, previously when it happened to Serenity, Mahogany fought back against it, and then that's also why he had such an issue with when it happened to him when he got brought back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember he was upset when he thought that Riot was being mind controlled too.
Right.
Okay. Did Mahogany learn anything about his beliefs?
Yes. He learned that sometimes the things that people say their beliefs aren't necessarily their beliefs.
In reference to who?
Liberation.
Okay, so do we want to unpack that, or do we want to save that for like next Sigil session?
No, not that. It's not that exceptional.
Okay.
It's just the fact that when Liberation says care must be taken, Mahogany took that literally and thought, you didn't take any care whatsoever with this. We just came back, and then you were like, okay, go. And then she said no, and then we were stuck.
So Mahogany is looking at this like Liberation didn't think about the consequences of freeing this succubus. He just saw that the freeing itself is the end.
Oh, well, that's not really related to Mahogany's beliefs, more
Okay.
of his views on alignment. Like, Mahogany thinks that's exactly what good good aligned people do. They just go around fucking everything up because they're trying to act good.
Okay. You're gonna have a real hard time on Elysium, my friend. Are Mahogany's beliefs changing?
No.
All right, I got 2 belief points for Nath and Riot, and I got 1 each for Liberation, Kelian, and Mahogany. I did give encounter experience this week, but it's just in terms of blips. It's not going to be... You didn't win any combats or anything, so it's not going to be a number. Blips are worth 1250. Riot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll start here. Everybody take 1 blip for the encounter with the Demarax. You managed to complete that encounter in alignment with the plane. You managed to not let it get reduced to violence. You fed the thing. You sent it on its way. You did bury it in a hill briefly, but that was an accident. Elysium's not going to hold that against you. So everybody take 1 blip for that. Riot and Nath, I'm going to give you a blip each for your floor plans. Riot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust anyone but me not to fuck everything up. You had this heist planned, and then Kelian rolls up and he's like, my girlfriend's coming. And that complicated the plan somewhat. So you can take a blip for that. And I gave you your faction blip. Because when you have the choice on how to solve this problem with these 2 groups of boys handing out handbills, you went with the one that would unerringly cause more chaos in Sigil. Who knows how many dirty chaos men and bubbers are going to get that handbill, just roll up in the courtyard, yeah, I'm an in-depth! They shut my shit down! Cut off fingers! So you're taking 4. Liberation.
Hey.
I gave you your faction blip for your unerring belief that there is good in everything, even things which have 0 good whatsoever. You took the assist blip and your encounter blip, so you got 3.
Yep.
Kelian, I gave you your fated blip because of his outlook on Ligris. You took the badass blip and your encounter blip. I was going to give you your flaw blip, but it didn't really come up.
No, I really didn't.
Not at all.
So you take that too. Your flaw, by the way, for viewers who don't know, is when I think with my penis, nothing can go wrong. Would you say that nothing went wrong?
Everything went according to plan.
Excellent. So you got 4. Nath.
Yep.
I gave you your alignment blip. You bristled quite a bit when they were explaining why it was a good thing that this guy was being robbed or sold into slavery and all these obvious crimes. Your alignment, law and good, are one entity. So I look forward to seeing that in future sessions with these numbskulls. You took the creative blip, gave you 1 for the floor plan, 1 for the encounter, so that's 4. Mahogany. I gave you your alignment blip, but I don't remember why. Because I didn't write a little note. Usually I do. Probably because you mediated something, would be my guess.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
I did give you your flaw blip. I can't be trusted to act on my own, and I should do what people tell me. Primarily because of the scene where you were distracting Nath and Liberation. Hey, maybe we should all go really far away. I had to mute the microphone at that point. You took the intangibles blip and the encounter. So you got 4, and our straw poll blip goes to Kelian, overwhelmingly.
I wonder why.
Can't imagine why. All right.
Oh man, dice make a really ridiculous noise rolling over these tablets. Listen to that.
Oh, that's horrifying. No.